Hey Happy Crew, HappiDaze here. In today's video, we're going to ask that question, should you be summoning on this Kizuna banner right before New Year's? The answer is a hard no, so if you're looking for a quick answer, no, jump out of the video if you want. But if you want to understand why we're saying no, stick around. We're going to talk about the two units that just got released as part of this Kizuna, go over the kits, what they do, and then provide some final thoughts on what their approach will be for OPTC going forward. So let's go ahead and start and look at the main new legend for this event, which is obviously the Shaka, Pythagoras, and Edison unit. Self-rant, I really wish that they didn't keep combining these couple legends together. It seems like when they first came out, they gave obviously Vegapunk, Lilith, Atlas, gave their own legends, but it seems like for the rest of the Vegapunk units, like they've just been like, nope. I really like Edison. I would like to see a standalone Edison unit, but that didn't happen, so it is what it is. So let's go ahead and take a look at Shaka, Edison, and Pythagoras first, see what they do. So far, looks like a pretty good captain ability. It's pretty long. Love to see that. So reduces cerebral character's special charge time by 2 turns to start a quest. That's good. Attack 5.5, which is not bad when slots are matching. Otherwise, 5.2 could be a little bit higher, but it's not terrible depending on some of the other units that have come out recently. HP 1.35, that's okay. And you get int and size slots matching. And then this is where this unit kind of really starts to shine, is if you have the different other Vegapunk units on the team. So if any of the units are on the teams and they use a special, they set this character special to max up to 2 times. So this is actually pretty fantastic. And you'll see once we get his actual special kit, the ability to just have it ready to go, and especially with some of the things that he does in his special, which we'll talk about in just a second, it actually is a pretty good captain ability, and I'm glad they kind of made these units all function together. I think a lot of times when Bandai is creating these units, what they tend to do is they make it so that they're kind of disjointed. Like, yeah, the characters are related, but they don't really have like a mesh or integration well together, but these units are really designed to be all the Vegapunk units used together, so I do like that. So outside of setting your special to max, they also reduces the chain multiplier growth rate by 10 turns, that debuff. Not a debuff you see all the time, so like that's not really that great. Tons of ways to get around it. You can have supports that do chain locking or chain addition or multiplication. So a lot of different ways to get around that debuff. So that's like not the best debuff for him to get rid of, but it kind of is what it is. So that's his captain ability. And he is a int cerebral free spared unit as well. So go ahead and take a look at his special. So, oh, this is like a novel here. All right, so let's start at the top. He does boost the chain multiplier by 1.5 for 1 turn, and it is upgradable up to 2 times. So the one downside is that's kind of low, but I guess it is what it is, and sets all enemies' defense to 0 for 1 turn, ignoring any immunity to the defense there. So that is good. It's always good to have a unit that can get rid of blue shields. You don't have to bring in extra support or anything like that to handle it. So the fact that he sets to 0, doesn't matter how many turns of blue shield he has, is pretty good. And then if you have a chain multiplicative buff already and a tap timing chaining boost at the same time, so kind of interesting, that tap chain timing boost. Not a lot of units bump that up, so it's kind of interesting that they had that as the other condition that you'll need to satisfy. But if you have a chain multiplicative boost and that boost, you do the set target status. So set target is actually really good. Like you can see with units like Cross Guild, you're able to just charge your specials down a lot when he has it. And what's really nice about his set target is for all enemies. So if you have 5 enemies on stage and you use set target, you get a cooldown for every 2 turns for the enemy that you defeat, right? So you could literally charge your specials in one stage, which is actually really good because you have a lot of problems with being able to get your specials charged and ready, especially in events like Kizuna, or TM, where there's only a limited number of stages. So that's actually really good. And on top of giving a 2-turn cooldown reduction for cerebral characters, it will also give you increased damage against them, so you definitely like to see that. That's always good. 2 times the damage is nothing to scoff at. And also, if we keep scrolling down here, and it's through immunity as well, which is even better. So yeah, like the set target is probably the best part of his kit so far. That's actually pretty awesome. And he further increases the multiplicative chain boost by 0.2 and the tap chaining by 0.1. So obviously you have to have both of those active to get his special trigger. 0.2 and 0.1 is really not like that crazy, especially with things like damage cap and damage limiters, right? It makes it not as valuable a buff to have these, but I guess it's fine. It is what it is. 0.2, 0.1. It'll just give you a little bit of extra increased boost on top of that set status. And then again, if the crew has the multiplicative chain boost when the special is launched, you also boost Cerebral characters' chap chiming chain by 0.6 up to 0.6 for 1 turn. So it will just kind of help really. So this, I guess, the unit is supposed to maybe where if you have a multiplicative chain but you don't have the multiplier boost, when you launch it, it will give you a boost there up to 0.6. So it's okay, and you can boost it up to 2 times. So what this unit's really built for is to get your chain multiplier up and also to get your tap timing chain bonus up. So interesting unit. Obviously, you have Lilith, who can do a stackable attack booster. You have Atlas, who can do a stackable orb booster. And then, of course, you have Vegapunk, who can give you a bunch of different buffs, depending which one you want to use. So it's really interesting that they choose to stick with the multiplicative buff and the tap timing chain buff here for this guy to increase. Interesting choice. Not the best, which is why I'm saying like this isn't like a must-have unit. But yeah, it is what it is. And on top of doing all that, he can also reduce all enemies' Rainbow Shield threshold by 1 turn. So that's just really meh. Like, I know the goal is to have to use this unit multiple times. That's why they have the other Vegapunk unit change his special so you can use it multiple times. But still, even if you use it 2 times, you only get 2 turns of Rainbow Shield or Threshold Reduction. And in today's age, where most stages have like 5+, like that's just not gonna do much for you. And he also reduces the attack down duration by 1 turn too. So, like it's nice. I don't know how much it will really help you in content, but at least you can get rid of Blue Shield now, and you can get rid of some of the other debuffs that I just talked about by 1 turn. If special status is at 1, it reduces special charge time for the Vegapunk units by 15 turns, which is absolutely fantastic. So that's really good. So I imagine there's something in his kit that will get you to get that status to 1. I didn't see anything so far in his special ability that will get it to 1 itself. You've had some units where just using the special will increase the your count there, but it looks like that is not true for this unit. So I'm guessing that he has another part of his kit that will do that for you. So that is a special. It's not a terrible special. Like I would say, like maybe it's like a 6.5 out of 10, 7 out of 10 maybe. I think the ability to get rid of that defense is really good. The set status is fantastic, and then some of those other stuff with the Rainbow Shield and Threshold and Attack Down is just kind of icing on top of the cake. So special is not too bad. So let's take a look. He does have some Sailor abilities, so he basically does an attack boost for Cerebral characters, which is just whatever. And then when the Cerebral class captain uses special, it sets the character's charge times max for 2 times. So yeah. Yeah, his Sailor abilities are okay. Nothing to write home about. He does have a super type, so you only need 1 of the Vegapunk units on the crew to activate, which is fantastic. Okay, and this is where it sets it to 1. But the important thing to note here is that you can actually launch this super type as a crewmate. If you couldn't, this unit would be god-awful. But the fact that you can actually launch his super type as a crewmate means that you're going to be able to get that set status to 1 and then just get all those additional buffs that we were talking about there. So I do like the bit that he can do that as a crewmate. That's fantastic. And he also changes all slots, including block to Psi. So again, love that. Gives some special cooldown as well for int characters, and changes int characters into super int. So yeah, like overall, it's not a bad super type. It would have been a horrible super type if he didn't have the crewmate ability to launch it, but he does. So that's good. So let's take a look at his potential abilities to wrap it up. So nothing kind of too crazy there. So let's just look at what his actual final tap can do. So at level 5, it gives you a chain multiplier of 1.5, which is terrible. And just gives you a base attack boost. So yeah, don't if you pull this unit, like you're not going to be maxing out his final tap 2 goes because it's just god awful. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Some of the other Vegapunk units have better ones. So yeah, it is what it is. So that is his regular PvE kit. Let's take a look real quick at what he can do in PvP, see if he's any good. So at level 5 for his base captain ability, he gives int Cerebral attack up, defense up 6. So defense up is always appreciated. Like to see that. And if any of the Vegapunk units are on the team, he gives himself and Vegapunk speed up level 5. That's really good actually, especially because Vegapunk is already on such a low cooldown himself that if you have that extra special CT 5, and I believe Vegapunk gave CT 2 as well, like boom, you're getting like CT 7 off the bat, which is kind of pretty crazy. Now, granted, there's not a lot of huge heavy damage outside of the Atlas unit on the int Vegapunk team. But the fact that you're going to be getting her special off quicker is definitely good, definitely something that's appreciated. And then the actual special, PvP special of this unit, gives attack up 8 for 20 seconds, speed up 8 for 20 seconds. So that's just kind of not like crazy good, but some buffs there, but not the best. And if any of the Vegapunk units are on the team, he targets 3 teammates, not including himself, with high special CT for a 30% reduction. So this guy is going to really help you get your specials off like super quick. Getting that 30% CT reduction to units outside of himself is just going to let your units go much quicker. So and then on top of that, he also gives haste to any of the Vegapunk units. So yeah, this guy's going to be like really fantastic for having together all the different Vegapunk units out there. Granted, they don't have like the best synergy. Like I said, you can have Vegapunk do a little bit of special CT increase as part of his captain. He does some special rewind as part of his PvP kit. You have Atlas who just does the whole chunk of damage. You have Lilith who can do a little bit of some damage, but ultimately, like, they're not like a super high damage team. So it'll be interesting to see how these units actually work when you're actually using them for defensive teams or offensive teams. So we'll get into that in a little bit. So yeah, let's see. And he resists special bind, which is good. Side damage, 30% damage reduction. And let's see if he has. Yeah, that's just god awful. Yeah, so you're never gonna use his GP burst. His GP burst is not good. So that is Pythagoras. Shaka, Edison, and Pythagoras there. Overall, like, the unit is okay. Like, I don't see them long term being like super relevant. Like I said, they make the rest of the Vegapunk units like much better. That's what their role is. But ultimately, they're not like any kind of game changing or meta breaking unit. So if you don't pull these guys, like, it's not the end of the world. Don't worry too much about that. So that is the Shaka, Pythagoras, and Edison. Let's take a look at the other Vegapunk, which Ruth's as part of here. Yeah, his captain ability is god awful, so we're going to ignore that. His special here reduces all enemies' threshold by 6. You'd love to see that. Paralysis by 6. Love to see that. And then boost type effects for Int Cerebral 2.5 for 1 turn, and also boost damage dealt to defend down enemies by 2.25. So of course this guy works really well with the special of the Shaka unit we just looked at, who helps give that defense down. So you get the additional damage here if you use this Vegapunk after that. And if you use the special one time, you get slot effects by 2.5 for 1 turn, and then increases attack, slot effects, type effects, and damage dealt by an extra 0.25. Yeah, so I mean, he's not terrible. Like, obviously he's made to work really well with the new Shaka Legend unit there. But yeah, the fact that he removed both Threshold and Paralysis is actually pretty good. And also gives type effects, which is just kind of whatever. It's not as good as some of the other debuffs that they could do. But still, good unit. He'll probably see some play, obviously, for the upcoming content, for the upcoming Kizuna. But the fact that he removes the Threshold and the Paralysis means he might see some play in some other content as well. And it's a lot of turns, which is good. 6 turns is nothing to scoff at. So yeah, he might actually see some play in some other content. He obviously won't have any Rumble stats, nothing to kind of talk about there. So those are the 2 units. So just to give my final thoughts on what you should be doing, obviously you should be saving gems for New Year's. Like, that is 100% the goal. You want to save gems for New Year's. Now, as you probably see if you look at my gem count here, I ended up doing about 7 multis on this banner, just because I actually wasn't shooting for the Shaka unit or even the new Edison unit there. Sorry, the Vegapunk or the Shaka unit. What I was really going for was actually the Law Beppo that was part of this banner. I've been trying to chase him for probably 5 or 6 banners now, and I've just had no luck getting them. So I said I was going to go up to 10 banners, 10 multis to try to get him. Ended up pulling both the Shaka unit and the Law Beppo by that 7th multi. I actually didn't realize I actually didn't have the Memories Whitebeard and the Memories Chopper as well. So yeah, I ended up pulling those. So 4 new legends in 7 multis is like fantastic. But I was just chasing Law because he's one of my favorite characters in One Piece, so it didn't really, what isn't a reason to pull on this banner. So that's what I'm trying to say. Save your gems. You want to save them for the upcoming New Year's Sugos. There's going to be amazing units there. I'm going to try to probably get a video in the next couple days of what I think might be coming. But yeah, you're going to have a lot of really overpowered characters, good characters, and ideally you probably want to be able to grab 2 out of the 3+ legends that are probably releasing as part of the New Year's Sugo. So that's going to wrap it up for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to have some PvP videos out with the Shaka, Edison, Pythagoras unit. See how he goes. Luckily, I've been really lucky and pulled pretty much every Vegapunk unit, including York, Lilith, Atlas, Vegapunk himself. So we'll have a pretty good team out there, and we'll answer that question. Is he really good in one of the upcoming videos? So thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe. And as always, until next time, be kind to each other.